Do you want a new turret pod design that can insta-kill any raider? I've set out to design a new turret pod that can be easily added to any base. Inspired by aloneintokyo, this design uses conditional roofs to hide turrets. It even comes with a respawn area, making it highly efficient. It can be added to a range of footprints, 3x3s, 2x2s and egg shapes, and can even be external TC'd if you'd like. So I've decided to investigate some more turret pod designs. I know they're quite popular on my channel and I haven't done one in a while. I want to see what I could make. So recently I saw this turret pod design that was brought to my attention that aloneintokyo used in one of his videos, with these two armored roofs that kind of lap over each other, and the conditional part here covers the gap in between them. And you have a turret hidden behind a double door, and this opens with a door controller and it shoots through this. Now, as you can see, you can shoot through this part here and you can't shoot through this part here, but I think, to my knowledge, turrets can shoot through the whole part that laps over the edge of the triangle roof. So if I upgrade to brutalist, this line here, I think it can shoot through, but in the armored version. And you actually have this same thing with let me upgrade the vanilla stone of skin. So you can actually shoot through the edge of this, and when you have a gap in between the two triangle roofs, then you can create effectively a gap that the turret can shoot through, but you can't see the turret. Now, with this in mind, I decided to do another wide gap turret pod design, and I connect it using the same method that I did on my very first turret pod design with the wide gap. Now, this is one of the best designs I think I've made ever for multiple reasons. One, it can be added easily to any base. As you can see, you can't even see the turret. It's actually shooting through this gap here. You can optionally add some extra protection. It isn't invincible, so HVs can shoot through these gaps as well as bullets, so you can still shoot the turret. But the best thing is I'd say maybe 1 to 2% of all Rust players might see this video. So even if they have seen the video, it's still going to be however many rockets to take out this turret, and it's going to be a pain to even see if you're going to be aiming at the right spot. You could maybe miss it and hit the two solid parts, and you can obviously add this extra chain link as well, or you can just leave it open like this. I think this is the design that's going to probably be used the most, as it uses less resources, but also keeps it more hidden. It's quite obvious even if you didn't see this video or this design before, that there's clearly a turret hidden somewhere, right? Because why would you have chain link on both sides like this? But also these raised foundations actually block the turret line of sight slightly. Like if you have terrain that goes down a hill, you see you can kind of crouch behind the foundation and not get hit by the turret. So it can be added to any footprint. I will go into these different footprint designs later, but you effectively just have these 3 triangle foundations attached to any base. This is just a test generator so I can connect the turrets, so that would be a normal electrical supply. You actually meant to have this here. So one of the best things about it as well is that it uses vanilla skins. So you can replace this triangle roof with brutalist. You can't use stone like this though, because this is a hitbox and you can't crouch in. So if we use brutalist or sheet metal, we can crouch into the turret pod. And you can actually fit a respawn area with your medium battery, loads of boxes, a bed. So it acts as a respawn and also a turret pod. So each turret pod uses 2 turrets. Now you might be thinking 1 turret pod, you're using 2 turrets, is kind of expensive, but you could add this to maybe if you have a 3-sided base, you only have 3 of these. And even if you have 3, you don't need 6 turrets. You technically only need 3 to cover your whole compound, because you could have one on this side facing this way, the one over there facing this way, and then the one over here facing that way. So like you could have 1 turret facing one side instead of 2. Of course, having 2 is better because you can insta-kill people a lot easier. As you can see on these foundations here, this is actually wide gapped. So this gap here is a wide gap, and then you have a gap in between here that you can shoot through, and the turrets can also shoot through this, and they can actually shoot above as well. So they can shoot all of this range here, so even if people are climbing over your walls, they'll still get shot. You can connect it to the main TC by using this frame and this roof at the back, this square roof, or you can actually build up even further and connect it using a ramp, which is quite good. Or you can maybe do some kind of cool peak in the shooting floor like this, and it will also connect as long as this half wall is connected to a full wall on the side. So with that in mind, I will quickly test this, and you can see even from here I'm getting shot. It's actually quite a wide angle, and you get shot up here as well. So if you have 2 on each side, you can get shot from everywhere. And this is one thing to also think about, is when you add this raised foundation, you cover the gap in the wall here. So it's a lot easier to use your respawn. You can go to your base and you're not going to get shot through this gap. Whereas on this one, you might get shot, right? But you can also use this as a defense peak, which is pretty good, back into the compound from the safety of your respawn. And then you have your respawn area once again. And you can't access this area at all, even from above. So you can drop down to here, and that's basically all you can do. You can't even damage the turrets from above through this gap either, so that's quite good. And then we'll move on to the footprint designs. So you can add this to anything. So even an egg shape, you can then external TC it instead of connecting it to the main TC. That turret is hitting me from here, which is actually insane. So you can connect it to an external TC, and then you upkeep this wide gap part here. You're still going to need this ramp here just to cover the gap in the roof. This can be replaced with a triangle roof in this case. But you can just connect it using frames, like on this one here, or you can connect it using this. But this technically isn't a connection here because the window isn't a connection point. But you can use some cool brutalist skin peaks here with the roof if you wanted to. And then you can connect it with the frame, and this connects to the main TC. So you could say, for example, with a 2x2, simple honeycomb, connect it to the base. You can even maybe honeycomb this here and add a triangle ladder hatch frame, maybe a chute to the shooting floor, mobility chute or something like that. That'd be quite a good idea as well to connect to your respawn area. You would then have 4 of these on the base, and then you have, well, you'd have 1 turret here, shooting each section of your compound. And then you can also add it to a flat corner base, so say like 3x3s, 4x4s, 5x5s with a flat edge. You can still add it to that as well, even though the angle maybe isn't amazing, but who knows, it might be quite useful in those kind of bases as well. So here's an example of how you can apply the turret pod to a simple base. This is just a 2x2 with door peaks, but you can add to any kind of base. So as you can see here, if the raiders were to blow these 2 walls here, which is quite likely considering if they blow these ones here, I mean, it's not exactly the best raiding angle. The most common place to hit is just here, underneath the shooting floor. So if they come in here, you're going to be instantly met by the 2 turret pods inside these areas here. And they will be pretty much insta-killed with 2 turrets, especially of high-level weapons like maybe an AK or a Python or bolties or something like that. You will want to silence your weapons as well. As you saw earlier, the weapons were silenced in the turret pods, so you want to make sure you silence them as well. And then you can connect it quite simply using a doorway. You will need the doorway because otherwise you can't access your bedroom or the turrets to resupply them. It might be quite awkward to do that without the doorway. And then you could do like a ladder hatch chute like I've done here, which leads up to the shooting floor. And then you can have a retake angle as well, which is quite nice. And then you can add maybe a brutalist ramp peak as well. This is just a very simple base, but you kind of get the idea of how you can apply it to any of your base designs. Now I'm going to show you how to make this and apply it to any base design. So I think the most common thing to do is to build off one of these honeycombs here where you have 3 triangles in the case of maybe a 2x2 or a 2x1 or something like that. So to build it, super simple. All you do, build out and make these 3 triangles. So these 3 triangles here, I'm going to upgrade this to like wood just to show what I'm adding on. So we have these 3 triangles, then you want a foundation here, build out by 2 squares, another triangle, demolish those original triangle and 2 squares, and then build back with triangles, and then demolish these 3 here. And then you'll be left with something like this. And that is literally all you need to do. And then right now, this foundation and this foundation is decaying if you haven't got a connection point here. And obviously these 3 here as well. So you want to instantly connect it. And you kind of want to upgrade the connection to metal. then you want to place a square roof here, a frame, or a floor, doesn't really matter. Place your window, your door, and then a full wall like this. You can also add a half wall. It's up to you what you want to do. And then that's completely connected. And then all you need to do now is add half walls here, which will be permanent. You just upgrade them to stone. And all of this is upkeep right now if you have a TC in your main base. So that's all connected right now. And then you can repeat that on the other sides of the base, like I've done on this space here. And then, once you're ready to expand, you can place 2 half walls completing this area, 2 half walls on the wide gap side like this. And then you want to place a full triangle floor, a frame, and then another floor. You should be left with something like this. Now at this stage, you can then seal it in using vanilla stone skins like this on both sides. And you should be left with these gaps here. And you can test by just shooting through. So it clearly goes through the hole. And now you want to seal it in finally with a triangle here. If you have the brutalist skin, use it, or any other stone skin. Or you can just upgrade to metal to allow you to pass through the single door. And then we simply place our turrets as close as they go to the gap in the floors. Or roofs, I should say. So like this. And you can't place any frames here. Even if you could place one here, you won't be able to get past the turrets. So you want to just leave it frameless. And then to fit the configuration that I had before, you want to put your medium battery that might be powering your turrets here. A bed here. And place it. There we are. And then a large box hugged to the left hand side. And then you can actually fit 3 small boxes here as well. And that will be it. And then you seal it in with the door. That's all you need to do for your base design. One of the key things if you're adding it is make sure you leave this honeycomb available and you don't seal it off like this. It'll make it a little bit easier to actually incorporate the doorway. So you have something like this and then you can access it maybe through a doorway or drop down or anything that you want to do. And that's how you add it. Then, if you want to do the second configuration, you can raise 2 foundations like this. And then add your chain link protection in here. But as you can imagine, if I just upgrade this to, say, I don't know, metal, so you can look through, you can see that the line of sight that the turret gets isn't as good because of this raised foundation here. And you can't put a lowered foundation before you think you can. You can't because the half walls here won't allow you to. So it does limit the vision of the turret, but it might be a good addition with the chain link, extra protection from HVs. Now then you can just simply add another roof here, upgrade to brutalist, and then you can do your shooting floor or something like that if you want to, and use a brutalist peak like this. If you want to add it to an external TC, you'll want to make sure you do not add this frame here that connects it. You can leave a square thing here, or you can actually replace it with a triangle like this if you prefer to do that instead, so it looks a bit cleaner. Now to connect it to an external TC, you'll need to add a gatehouse for a compound like this. And then you simply build out by 4 squares. And then add whatever external TC you want to add. You could do my meta TC with the raised foundation. This one. I'll have that linked down in description below instead of building it all now. But this is like a socket override one. Like this. Or you could just do a super simple disconnectable TC like this. And then you just simply connect using square frames. And then you can disconnect it like so. And that will be upkeeping just this side here. So these floors, the half walls, and the 3 roofs here. And this metal roof here as well. And that will be covering your main TC as well, using it as an external. Thank you very much for watching.